Yo, what is going on, everybody? Colin here with CH Sports, bringing you guys some more disc golf coverage of the Northwest. And today I'll be bringing you guys some commentary from the back nine of the first round from the 2022 Columbia Cup held at Hornings Hideout. Here's our scores from the front nine. We have all three of the top players in the state, as well as a young and up-and-comer in Hunter Gates, all on the same card. And they're playing the hardest course here in Oregon, and we step right up to hole 10. It's a par 4, 600 feet. There's two distinct lines here. The line that Scott is taking here, which is a forehand Annie over the, I'll say, the more unconventional gap, and then you'll see Cole taking the conventional gap, pretty much just throwing a straight to Hyzer forehand. You see he gets hung up on something there, but that gets out generally to the landing zone. And here we'll see the finish here. Yeah, that's pretty much out in the landing zone. It's down on the lower tier of the landing zone, but it is out the gap. And now we'll see Chris going back to the same line that we saw Scott throw, and a similar result to what we saw from Cole. And Hunter Gates taking the highly technical route, throwing the backhand down the straight gap there. And he'll end up similar to where Chris and Cole are both at. Scott in deep trouble here. This is definitely the difficulty of this hole. If you get hung up on something early, it's very hard to figure out a way to make par, and he's not really going to advance much after that second throw either. So definitely par is out of the question from here. Now he's just trying to figure out a way to save bogey, and that's pretty much where the best drives can get to. That's where all the good drives will get to. And now we see Cole down from this bottom landing zone, and about as good as he was going to do from there with his Crystal Raptor. Now we see Chris from a similar spot to where we just saw Cole. Chris, happy with taking a par here. Throws it up to about where Scott's at. Hunter almost threw the drive too well. He threw it a little bit too far and got pinched off by all these little trees you see here, and was only able to advance a few feet there. Advances it up the fairway there, and we'll have a up and down for bogey from there. And Scott trying to do the same. It was a pretty solid shot, but this is the difficulty of Hornings Hideout. All these undulated greens. If you guys didn't check out the front nine, go check that out. But, you know, having all these holes that elevation plays a factor, the undulated greens are also going to be a factor as well. And Hunter, Hunter giving the basket another run. Again, if you haven't seen the front nine, go check that out. Gave hole 4 on the front nine a great ace run, and there you see running down the baskets again. And Cole with our only legitimate birdie putt. We'll see if he can convert from here. Just a little short. Putting with his new EV7 Fies. And here's Scott putting with his Challenger SS's. And he does put it in for his bogey save. Yeah, one of the main challenges here at Hornings Hideout is definitely the greens. It's hard to get a nice, clear putt. Oh, and Cole with his first major mistake of the round on the putting greens. He does yank it a little bit, and we'll take the bogey there. And it's looking like Chris is going to take our only par of the card. Definitely one of the harder holes here at Hornings Hideout. I feel like there's just a few things going on here. It's hard to get off the tee clean, and then as the greens out here at Hornings Hideout are very undulated and very tough to navigate. So there's our scores after hole 10. The top 3 players in the state all hanging around the same score, and then Hunter falling back a little bit off of that pace, but to be expected with all 3 of these guys being 10-20 plus. And here's Chris going with his new Phantom Sword there from Innova. And throws a beautiful drive up to about 5 feet. What a drive there from Chris Nelson. Scott looking to do about the same here. Going for the wide gap. Let's see if he can get it to Hyzer back in time. And it does look a little wide, judging off of where we saw Chris's lie. Yeah, that'll be probably about 35 feet right of the basket or so. And Cole trying to find Chris's vapor trail. And he'll hit an early tree. He'll be trying to get up and down for par. And Hunter going with his Z Vulture there. Also hitting a tree. Should be a pretty simple up and down for par. Cole going to his zone there. And that'll do for an up and down. Hunter, maybe another run. Wow, look at this guy just running all the up shots. And now we got Scott's putt, about 35 feet right of the basket. And if you guys didn't check out the front nine, every single one of Scott's putts today, and there you see another one, has been just very protected by these greens. There's all kinds of little... Even within, there you can see just left of the basket there's within 10 feet of the basket, a bunch of little skinny branches, and it's tough to find yourself in an even like semi-clear position for your putt. There we see Kenny jumping into the frame. Huge shout out to Kenny Chassis for jumping out and running some B-cam for me. Scott getting to the point that he's pretty frustrated, but got to keep in mind that anything around even par on this course is a very good score. And there you see Chris grabbing the only birdie with the absolute park job, able to tie Cole back up for the lead on the card. Yeah, so just for reference on this course, even is about 1,000 rated, if not better. Here's Chris going to his Star Lion. Ooh, and hits an early tree. We'll kick to that early left side. That's probably the most challenging spot to get up and down for par on this hole. Like I've been saying through this coverage, the main challenge of this course is definitely the elevation change. So here's another one. We got par 3, 405 feet, but it goes significantly downhill. And all the gaps on this hole, none of them are huge. As you can see, all three of the top players in the state hitting an early tree and kicking to that early left side. Let's see if Hunter can find the gap here. Going with his 4-claw buzz. And the only one that even made it to the B-cam. Let's see how it finishes. Yeah, that's a great shot. Rolls up to about 25, 30 feet. Great shot from Hunter Gates. And like I said, this early left side is a very tough position to get up and down from. Chris going back to his trusty pig. Wow, and throws a great shot. Nearly throws it in. And rolls about 15, 20 feet long. Great shot from there. Cole trying to follow Chris. Throws a very similar shot. Let's see how it reacts on the greens. And there you go. That's Hornings for you. Even the good shots will roll out to a tester for sure. 35, 40 feet. Cole's definitely got the putting prowess to give that a run. And now here's Scott. You see how difficult this early left side is. Does a pretty good job to get up to at least a putt there. Let's see what Cole can do here from about 35, but it's playing like a 50-footer at least with how much uphill this is. It's hard to catch it on camera, but this is definitely way above his head here. And there you go, Cole Redalen with a great up and down. Another great putt. Go check out that front nine. Like I said, guys, go check out that front nine. And here's another big putt for Cole. We're going to go to our Resistance Disc slow-mo replay. Able to get that EV7 Phi up in the air and put it in the basket. And Scott looking at similar distance here. You can kind of see the elevation change here on this one. And gives it a good run. Just sit down. Okay, it does sit. And he's going to be taking another bogey. And Hunter with our only birdie putt of the group. Let's see if he can convert. And there you go, folks. Hunter Gates puts that Rocket Roach right in the center. Great birdie there from Hunter. And we're going to jump over to Chris Nelson now, putting with XDs from Innova. Just a little bit of a yank there. Yeah, Chris upset now. And, you know, historically, the two best players in the state are going to be taking bogeys on this hole. That's a very, very frustrating result, I'm sure. As you see, Chris showing a little bit of his frustration there. But, you know, now they're stepping up to the birdie stretch of this course. Holes 13, 14, 15, I'm sure probably score as 3 of the easier holes on the course for the MPO division. And Hunter grabbing that nice birdie there. Starting to get back to the other scores on the card there. And like I said, this one's one of the easier ones on the course. Going for this wide hyzer, going to his Redalen Z-Force. And we can't see the basket in frame there, but that's about 15, 20 feet short of the basket. And Redalen also going to his Redalen Z-Force. And very similar result to Hunter. About 20 feet left or so. And Chris going with a slightly lower line, but hitting the same gap as the first two. And scoots on up there to parked once again. That Phantom Sword putting in work for him. And now we're going to see Scott Withers also hitting the gap. And he'll skip up there to about 25 feet, so I'm sure that's probably one of the better groupings of drives on the hole for the weekend. And Scott, our farthest putt here at about 25, 30 feet. And able to convert, put that Challenger SS in there. And Scott frustrated with all these putts that he's had. Again, go check out that front nine, guys. But, yeah, Scott has already had probably about 4 or 5 of those putts where he throws a great drive and then, you know, finds either a holly bush or just a little skinny branch in his way after throwing a great drive. So, and Cole able to convert on his birdie putt. And while we watch the other two guys tap in here, we got Hunter from about 15, 20 feet. While these other guys tap in, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to All Day Disc Golf, who ran this event and as well as sponsored the coverage. So if you're in the Portland area, go check out their new brick and mortar store that they just opened up. It's called All Day Disc Golf, or you can check them out online at alldaydg.com. And Chris showing us that he got got the CTP with his Team Innova stamped Phantom Sword there. So there we see our first star frame of the round. Everybody grabbing the birdie. And, yeah, we'll kick it off to our sponsors real quick, and then we'll get into hole 14. We'll be right back. Folks, welcome back to hole 14. It's a par 4, 575, and we got a tight gap to hit off the tee, which Hunter has not done. Hits the main tree right in the middle of the gap. Really, we're just trying to get out into the middle of the field here and then get up and down from where they land in the field. Main thing to navigate off the tee is that gap, and Cole just putting an absolute crush out there. Almost got it out to pin high. And Chris going back to his Phantom Sword once again. Hits an early tree and kicks early left. That's going to be a very tough par. And Scott going with the other play on this hole is to throw a forehand just to make sure you're going to hit the gap. Because really, once you're out the gap, it's still a pretty manageable birdie, especially for these MPO guys. And here you see Chris. There is traditionally a Mando on this hole, but they are not playing it for this tournament. So Chris trying to advance pretty much up 10's fairway. And he hits another tree and will be left with a very tough up and down for his par. Hunter, after hitting an early tree, does at least get out to the field a little bit here and has an open approach up to the basket and manages it very well. Great execution there from Hunter Gates. He'll have a birdie putt. Scott not happy with this approach. Had a pretty open one and kind of just threw it nose up. Didn't quite get fully committed to that shot. And now you see Redalen close enough that he's throwing a jump putt up and down for his birdie. And as long as it sits on that hillside, and it does, he's going to have about 20 feet for his birdie. And here's Hunter Gates. So quick story real quick, as Hunter just barely misses his birdie putt there. We actually missed Chris's third shot. He was so deep in the woods off to that left side that we didn't quite catch his third shot, but he throws a forehand out of the woods and actually almost throws it in, hits the basket. That's his blue disc sitting right next to the basket there. So he was able to get up and down for his par. But, yeah, this will be his fourth shot and saving his par. Looking back at the line that he had to throw to get there, and banks his Firebird off of the front of the cage, almost throws it in to save his birdie. Still amazed by what he just did. And Scott able to save par, as well as Hunter there. Not necessarily the score that these guys are looking for, but it's not going to kill you either. Cole really the only one able to execute what they're looking for on this hole, which is the easy birdie. And now Cole pretty significantly under par. 2 down is a great score going to hole 15. Hole 15, one of the easier holes on the course. It's a pretty standard hyzer shot. Really the difficulty of this one is the green itself, as we'll see here in a minute. Cole doesn't like it out of the hand, but it gets a nice skip and some solid ground play, and that's about as good as you can do on the hole. It really is hard to actually park this hole. The only way to do it, and there you see Hunter trying to, but really the only way to park it is by hugging that left side and trying to skip it up the hill, and hopefully you stay up there. But a lot of these guys are going to go for pretty much what you just see from Chris and Cole there. It's, you know, throw it to the bottom of the hill and try to make your 25, 30-footer up the hill. And Scott with a very similar shot and a very similar result. We're going to see 3 guys putting from about 25, 30 feet uphill, and Hunter tries to hug that left side and pays the price for it. Let's see if he can get up and down for his par. And unfortunately, Kenny wasn't in position to catch that one, but he does throw a great shot. Hunter actually ended up on the hill, so he'll have a pretty short par putt. And Chris up the hill, able to convert. That's a great putt from Chris. Again, it's hard to catch elevation on camera, but these guys are looking straight uphill. I mean, even from where Scott's at, this is probably the bottom of the tray is probably a good 5 feet at least above his head. And there you see the elevation coming into effect there. Very lucky to hit that tree and stay there. So he'll still have a pretty short par save putt. Cole with the same look that Chris and Scott just had. And once again, able to convert. Cole Redalen. This is where he's saving strokes on people right here, guys. This is the strength of his game and what he predicates himself on. Able to make putts from pretty much everywhere. And there we see Scott able to save his par after getting a pretty bad break to not catch there. And there you see where Hunter's second shot ended up at. Going to be a pretty manageable par save for him at least. And this is one that all the MPO guys are trying to birdie for sure. But, you know, we'll walk away with 2 birdies and 2 pars. No damage done. And like I said, now we got 2 guys under par. Chris able to get himself under par with the birdie there. And then we'll see Hunter and Scott stay right where they were, grabbing 3s on hole 15. And we move into hole 16, the only par 5 on the course. It's 930 feet, but plays a lot longer than that because you got to push it forward all of about 930 feet. And then there's a Mando off to the left side that you have to negate as well. And Cole Redalen looked like he sawed that off, but very fortunate to hit that tree and stay in the fairway. That's really the only thing you can't do off the tee here is find that wood line on the left side. Chris able to throw it into the middle of the fairway there. Not bad at all. Hunter Gates going to his ESP Vulture and knows that he early released it right away. And once again, folks, this is the only thing you can't do on that hole. Really, the right side is much more favorable than missing it left. And Scott going to put an absolute hurting on his ESP Nuke here. And this thing is punished. What a shot from Scott Withers. where Kenny's at is about 500 feet or so, and he cleared him. So here you see what Hunter's left with. He's got a forehand roller to try and get himself back out into the fairway. Able to get to about where Scott's drive ended up. And Chris really just trying to punch this forward as long as possible and get past the Mando so that his third shot he can see into the green. You guys will see what I'm talking about here in a minute. And Cole trying to do a similar thing to what we just saw from Chris. These guys are beating the Mando by probably about 50 or 60 feet. And Hunter trying to do the same here. Saws it off a little bit, and this actually brought up some controversy. We'll see it here in a second, but doesn't quite miss the Mando. And now we see Scott's shot very sawed off. Is it going to make it to the Mando? And no, it doesn't. Scott misses the Mando there. And now we'll see Hunter's fourth shot, I believe. And the reason why they said he didn't miss the Mando there was with the new rules, the new Mando rules. It's hard to tell, you know, if it's not put into the caddy book at all of where exactly the restricted zone is now. It used to be pretty standard, just from the Mando back to either the tee pad or the fairway or whatever. You know, it changes per hole, but with the new Mando rules, you know, with there being a new restricted zone and with it not being exactly clear in the caddy book of where the restricted zone is on this hole, they gave Hunter the call there. And so now this is Hunter's putt for bogey. And just left. That's going to be a double bogey for Hunter Gates. Right when he was starting to get back to the guys on the card. And that's Cole's putt for birdie. That just misses, and it looked like it was pretty significantly downhill past the basket here, but it's not too bad. As you see Cole stay right next to Scott there. Scott getting up and down from the drop zone to save his par. Cole put in his par putt. And Chris able to grab the birdie on the hole. The only birdie of the group. Perfectly executed. And here we'll see Hunter tap in a double bogey. And we'll move into hole 17. So we got the wide array of scores here. We got 2 pars, the 1 birdie, and then the 1 double bogey there from Hunter Gates. And Chris inching closer to Cole. Once again, anything under par on this course is very good. And now we step up to hole 17. It's listed at 320, but plays close to 100 feet further than that, up to about 420 or so. And Chris Nelson further cementing that he is the luckiest player in Oregon in Scott's book. Able to fight through that right side and actually get up to a clear birdie putt. Cole going for a play that I've never even seen on the hole is this wide hyzer play. Gets up there, but not quite to a wide open putt. And Scott saws it off a little bit. He'll have an easy up and down for par, but birdie look is pretty much out of the question. And now we see Hunter Gates, who throws the shot that the hole asks for and hits the last tree in the fairway. Man, that was looking good out of the hand. And now we're going to see Hunter scramble here for par. Very nicely done. Throws it right up to the basket. And this is what Scott's looking at. And he finds a way to scoop a little forehand in there. And after all the bad luck that he's had so far on this round, he deserves it. And luckily Kenny was recording this shot and got the opposite angle on this one. And look at this thing just hang on for dear life. Catch the back of the bucket. And it's in there thanks to our resistance discs slow-mo replay. Now we see Cole out at about the range of Cole Redalen. He can jump putt pretty far, but this is a 100-footer playing like a 200-footer. It's so far uphill, and Scott showing Chris what it took to throw that thing in there. That conversation was pretty interesting to listen to. And here's Chris to try and match Scott on the hole. He's got about 35 feet going up the hill. Oh, and he loved it out of the hand. It's so hard to miss those significantly uphill putts high. And so hard to be frustrated with that effort, but it will result in a par if he can make this putt. And there he throws his XD in. Pretty common score on this hole. A lot of pars, a few birdies, and a few bogeys. Averages out to about par. And this card will do the same. We're going to see 3 pars and 1 throw-in birdie from Scott Withers. That's why he's the best player in the state, folks. And he gets himself back to even par. He's back in contention, back in the mix. We still have a full nether round after this, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next coverage coming out. And here we see Scott Withers going for the roller play on hole 18. Does not love it. It's a little bit right, and it's going to get hung up on that right side. There you see the short basket, but the long basket's probably another 120 feet up the hill and a little bit to the left. There you can see Kenny in the frame. He's about pin high or so. And Chris hits one of the trees in the center of the fairway. Cole throwing a pretty decent shot. It's looking a little left. Is it going to push far enough? And yeah, it does. He's going to have a legitimate putt on hole 18. Very rare birdie. It's 425 feet, but plays close to 475, I would guess, with how uphill it is. And Hunter, a very similar shot to what we just saw from Cole, and a very similar result. So we'll see 2 legitimate chances at birdie here. And we want to see up and downs from Scott and Chris. And Chris throws his pig a little low, and he's going to leave himself a tester for par to finish.
Oh, that's so good.
And Scott throwing a highly technical shot here. That was a Challenger SS that he just threw on a little flip-up Hyzer forehand. Able to get it all the way up to the basket. Here we see Hunter with his Ringer GT. Puts it under the basket. Par here is a great score. Cole Redalen going to his zone to give this a run, and it's a little short. Great run there from Cole Redalen. And let's see if Chris can save his par here. Tough lighting for the camera here. Sorry, fellas.
Come on, man.
And back-to-back putts for Chris Nelson off the band. Man. And Cole Redalen finishes off a very solid round. 3 down is a great round out here. For perspective there, the course record is 9 down, held by Cole Redalen himself. And Scott having himself a chuckle. He has literally not had a clear putt all day, including the forehand that he just threw in. He has not had a clear look at the basket all day. Figures it out, as a 1035 rated player should. Stretches out to a knee and finishes off his round. He's definitely not out of contention yet, but it's going to take a solid round in the second round to get himself back into it. Chris Nelson will finish at 1 down, and Hunter Gates, after taking a triple to start, really not too bad of a round, finishing at 5 over. And there you see our rounds. Very solid play from the top 3 players in the state, as we thought we might see. And for Hunter's first time being on camera, it's really hard to complain about shooting 5 over on, once again, the toughest course in Oregon. One more time, I'm going to shout out All Day Disc Golf. Go check them out if you're in the Portland area at All Day Disc Golf. Or you can check out them online at alldaydg.com as well. And we'll see you guys in round 2. Thanks. Hey guys, Colin here with CH Sports. I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my coverage sponsors. These videos would not be able to come to life without these people's help, so I really appreciate it. There's plans starting as low as $3 a month, and every single dollar helps grow the channel. If you would like to see your name or business listed in the credits of every single one of my videos, please head over to patreon.com/chsports.